And then this leads to something else, like here you have the pledge system, and most places will have combination of dues and sending out envelopes for major services. Now, pledges are convenient in many ways because you're supposed to cover all this. You don't have to worry about it, the services throughout the year and stuff, so you just take care of it at one shot. But then the envelopes for major services allows people to donate what they can when they can, right? And this is something that's important in Buddhism, I think, what you can when you can. It doesn't matter whether it's a good event or a bad event, you make a donation. Like the Issei's used to do this all the time. If something happy happens, they hit a jackpot, they make a donation. They lose money, they make a donation. You get sick, you make a donation. There's a birth in the family, you make a donation. And, this is to share your joy and your sorrows with many people, right? Many people. And the best thing about the envelopes too, though, I think, is that it serves as a reminder that you're going to have a major service, so that people make a little bit more of an effort to attend the services. But, and it must have been done this way before, because this was pretty much traditional. But we have to ask ourselves, when and why did it change? And the system that we have here has become tradition here. But again, there are times when you need to revisit traditions and decide whether or not that tradition that you do have is worth passing on to future generations. And we have to ask ourselves, would it be better to go back to the old, stay with what we have now, or come up with a better way? And it's easiest to stay with what we have, right? I mean, it's in place, it's happening, everybody's used to it. It's easiest to do that. And it's most difficult to create a better way that reflects the teaching and cultivates a deeper sense of appreciation of that teaching. This is the hardest part. But then, do we want to shy away from it because it's harder to do? I think I mentioned this around Wahigan time, but this is a true story about a village in Japan. It was up in the mountains, and then just to get to the market, people had to go down this treacherous trail just to sell their goods. So one man came up with this idea that they should build a tunnel to go through this mountain so that they can go into the village markets, and then people would be safer and such. And everybody in the village thought it was a great idea. Right? And they started, and again, this is a long time ago, so it was work done by hand. So they started, with picks and shovels and digging a tunnel through this mountain. And like I said, at the beginning, everybody was helping out. But then as time went on, people started saying, this is too much work, it's not going to happen, we're not going to get it done. And people started dropping out until this man was the only one that was continuing it. And then after his son got older and was able to help, he started helping out. And then this went on for years and years, and then the sons started taking over most of the work, and his son started helping. And then people started noticing that there was progress being made. It wasn't fast, but they were getting deeper and deeper into the mountain. So they started coming back and helping out a little bit more. And then they started making more progress, and everybody else started joining in with them as well. And finally this tunnel was built. This is supposed to be a true story, and and they use it a lot for perseverance more than anything else. But they were able to do it because one person started. One person started. And he saw a need, and he started actually working on it. So this is what we are facing today. We have to decide, even though it might be difficult, it might be time to create a better way to do things that reflects the teachings and at the same time cultivates a deeper sense of appreciation for that teaching. The gist of this Eitaikyo observance is not simply to assure the continuation and access to our teachings for future generations, but to pass on the essence of the teachings, that all-embracing compassion, free of human preferences and prejudices, and temporary conditions that we may face. You know, that the teaching doesn't make distinctions. We do. But do we want to communicate the preferences and prejudices that we have? Or do we need to communicate that all-embracing aspect that the teaching communicates? So we have to do this in ways that will continue to reach out to all who are willing to listen and awaken to the call of Amida. Right? And this is why this Eitaikyo service is important. Yes, the donations are important, the funds are important, because they make sure that, you know, we have the things that we need. But it's also important as a time to consider, what is it that we need to pass on? What is it that we need to make our own so that we have something to pass on? So this is that essence of that all-embracing compassion that we need to pass on. So this is what we have to do. But to do this, we need to make it our own first. So with those few thoughts, I'd like to share with you a meditative reading that from the Dharma School book that kind of shows that same process. As one little candle lights another, so the light of Buddhist compassion will pass from one mind to another mind endlessly. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namandam Namandam Namandam. Thank you.